trying to move to a new city and pick out where you want to live and where you want to buy a home, or even know where to start and what area to look in, can be so overwhelming, especially in a city as big as San Antonio. So today I'm going to give you a general overview of the entire San Antonio area. We're going to look at the maps so that by the end of the video you will have a good idea of where you want to start looking, or at least have me to help you narrow down based on your lifestyle, your commute, the schools that you're looking for, and what you can afford. So stay tuned. Hey there, it's your realtor Denise Ross with Keller Williams City View here in San Antonio, Texas, and I absolutely love helping people make San Antonio their home. I love answering questions about what it's like to live here in San Antonio, so feel free to call, text, or email. I'm more than happy to answer your questions too. Now we're going to go into an overview of the entire city of San Antonio. I've divided the city into 6 different sections. I'm going to start in the center and go counterclockwise around the city, covering all the different areas. And at the end, I'm going to come back and cover some of the most popular, further outlying areas as well. So let's dive right into the map. Here's Central San Antonio. Now, for the record, nobody calls it Central San Antonio. I'm just using that as a descriptive term to describe the general area surrounding the central downtown core of town. So obviously downtown, there's a lot going on down here. It's really a lot of history and culture in this area. There's the Riverwalk, the Alamo, the Tower of Americas, and the Pearl. The Pearl was once the Pearl Brewery, but now it has been redeveloped into some locally owned restaurants, bars, shops, and even apartments in this area. Also in this area is the AT&T Center, which is the arena where the San Antonio Spurs play basketball. There's also concerts there, and it also hosts the San Antonio Livestock Show and Rodeo, which happens every February as well. Also in this area is Fort Sam Houston Army Base and the San Antonio Military Medical Center, which locals usually just refer to as SAMC. You've also got theaters, art galleries, lots of museums, the San Antonio Zoo in Breckenridge Park, and also the Quarry Market, which is a shopping center, as well as the North Star Mall, which has the world's largest pair of cowboy boots right outside. Obviously, this is an iconic area of San Antonio with lots of attractions. It's a popular area for people to want to live in and lots of options. Obviously downtown on the Riverwalk, there's going to be some condo living. East and south of downtown, there's some historic neighborhoods and homes built in the 1900s and 1920s, some of which have been updated to really keep the character, but also to update to more modern features that a lot of people would like to have in their homes. Pricing is going to vary a whole lot between those that have been recently renovated and homes that still need updating. Southtown, which is the area directly south of downtown, is made up of the King William, Lavaca, and Blue Star neighborhoods, and it was once labeled by Texas Monthly as the most eccentric neighborhood in Texas. It's known for its diversity, eclectic blend of shops, historical sites, Victorian-era homes, art galleries, and cultural hotspots. It's a beautiful mix of old and new, historic homes, converted warehouses, modern galleries that all blend beautifully into this community. Other communities in this area is going to be Government Hill, Dignity, and Denver Heights, which tend to be on the pricier side and are going to be smaller bungalow type homes, but what really draws people to them is the proximity to downtown. North of downtown, you will find some of the most affluent and sought after neighborhoods in all of San Antonio. There's areas like Alamo Heights, Olmos Park, Terrell Hills, and Monte Vista. These are historic homes too, but the homes tend to be a little bit larger square footage wise on a little bit bigger lots. The proximity to downtown is still really close, just being a couple miles north. And these are really tight-knit communities, and the people take a lot of pride in living in these areas. They definitely have their own culture. There's also excellent schools in this area. The Alamo Heights Independent School District is always one of the top-rated schools. Homes in the Alamo Heights, Olmos Park, all of those areas are going to start in the $400,000s and range up to $3 to $4 million. Next, we're going to move on up to the northeast section of town. There is a lot going on in this area of town as well. You have Randolph Air Force Base. There's also the Forum Shopping Center, which is at the intersection of Interstate 35 and Loop 1604. And that is one of the largest shopping centers in all of San Antonio, with pretty much any and every retailer or restaurant that you possibly could want. There's also a pretty recently built IKEA in the neighborhood. Also in this area is Morgan's Wonderland. It's the very first fully accessible theme park, so everyone is included and can ride the rides. It's a really cool place. There's Natural Bridge Caverns, where you can go inside of some caves, and the Bracken Bat Cave Preserve, which has the largest colony of bats in the entire world, which is a really cool thing to go and see. My family and I went and watched the bats come out one evening, and that is a really cool sight to see. Also in this area is the JW Marriott Resort and Spa, and this has to be like the top staycation place in all of San Antonio. A lot of locals like to go and just get away from it all here and enjoy everything that they have to offer, but it's also a resort for people from out of town as well. There's 2 TPC golf courses nearby, as well as McAllister Park in this area, which is over 1,000 acres, has a dog park, a lot of picnic tables, sports parks, and over 15 miles of trails. Northeast area of town is definitely a very suburban area, and some of the municipalities are Schertz, Universal City, Live Oak, Converse, and Windcrest, which you should definitely go and check out around Christmas time. Windcrest is widely known for its over-the-top Christmas light displays and competitions that go on between neighbors every year. There's a lot of new construction in the Converse area, as well as heading north on I-35 going towards New Braunfels. The new construction is going to start anywhere from the mid-200s and go up from there. Existing homes in the Schertz, Universal City, and Cibolo areas are usually going to run between $200,000 and $400,000. North of Loop 1604, near the JW Marriott, is a very large master plan community called Cibolo Canyons, and homes in that area are going to run starting at about the $300,000 range and run well up into the $600,000s. Inside of Loop 1604, you'll be able to find neighborhoods such as Thousand Oaks, Henderson Pass, Knoll Creek, Spring Creek Valley, and homes in this area are going to range between $225,000 and $300,000, with a median price of about $246,000. Really, no matter what price range you're looking for, there's probably something for just about everyone in this northeast section of town. But if you're going to be working on the far south side, or like Lackland Air Force Base or at the Toyota plant, for example, this is probably not going to be the best area for you, just to the distance of the commute and the traffic involved in getting there. Now we're going to move on to the north central and far north areas of San Antonio. Now these areas are really centrally located and have really easy access to pretty much any highway system in San Antonio. There's some really great parks in this area, one of which is Phil Hardberger Park, which is over 300 acres in 2 sections that is connected by a land bridge that goes over 8 lanes of traffic, and people and wildlife are able to cross. There's several golf courses in this area, including the Silverhorn, Sonterra, and the Canyon Springs Golf Course. This area has several major employers and some major healthcare facilities as well. There are several small municipalities kind of landlocked within San Antonio in this area, and those are Castle Hill, Chavano Park, Hill Country Village, and Hollywood Park. And those are some really cool areas because a lot of them have larger home sites with lots of trees, and they really give you a feeling of being in a more rural environment, being out in the country, but you're really close to everything in the city. It's not uncommon to drive through these areas and see wildlife and deer just sleeping in people's yards or eating, which is really cool. Just make sure that you plant landscaping that doesn't taste good to deer. The north central and far north areas of San Antonio are definitely a more affluent area, but also some of the most highly desired areas in all of town. Some of the other neighborhoods you'll find in this area are Inwood, Deerfield, Churchill Estates, Hunters Creek, the Colonies, and Whispering Oaks. Pricing in this area is going to vary as some of these communities are more established and some are gated, some are not. You might find a few things starting in the low 200s, but those are going to jump up quickly in the gated areas and the municipalities with the larger home sites. Outside of Loop 1604 is the far north section of San Antonio, and in this area you will find Stone Oak, Rogers Ranch, Sonterra, Canyon Springs, and Timberwood Park neighborhoods. Timberwood Park is another area that has some really wooded acreage type home sites. On the east side of 281, you're going to find Encino Park, Indian Springs, and Bulverde Village. For the far north area, pricing is going to start around the mid 300s and then jump to around 800s for some of the larger home sites in Timberwood Park, and then up to a couple million for some luxury homes in the area. Now we will continue to the northwest side of San Antonio. This area of town really has a lot of major employers and a lot of attractions with the South Texas Medical Center and the UT Health Science Center. Locals usually just refer to this area as the Med Center, as it has a number of hospitals and physicians' offices in this area, and a lot of people who come to work in the healthcare field do work in this area. There's also the USAA headquarters, as well as the Valero Energy headquarters and the University of Texas at San Antonio. And this area in particular is a really great area for investment properties, considering the population of students at the university and the med school there. There's some of the best shopping in all of San Antonio at the shops at La Cantera and the Rim. There's lots of recreation opportunities in this area with Fiesta Texas theme park and places like Top Golf, iFly, Andretti's Gaming and Go-Kart Racing, a pickleball venue, several golf courses, parks, and more. For housing in this area, you're really looking at big differences in pricing depending upon whether you're looking at inside of Loop 1604 or outside of Loop 1604. Inside 1604, you have the municipality of Leon Valley, as well as Oakland Estates, which is the oldest subdivision in San Antonio, which was platted in 1926. Some of the other neighborhoods in this area are Bronze Farm, Alamo Farmsteads, Northwest Crossing, and Woodridge. You're still going to be able to find some homes in this area starting in about the 180s. Outside of Loop 1604, things are going to be a little bit different. You really start getting into the rolling hills of the hill country, and you've got the small town of Helotes, which really gives you kind of a more rural, laid-back feel, but still really close to the city, and a lot of beautiful scenery in that area. There's some new construction and communities still building in this area. Continuing north near Interstate 10, you're going to have the Crown Ridge neighborhood, and on the other side of Interstate 10, you have the prestigious luxury neighborhood of the Dominion. Homes outside of Loop 1604 in the northwest area are going to range from the 200,000s all the way up to 2 to 4 million. Now, moving on to the west and far west sides of San Antonio, this area west of downtown near the core of the city is the Deco District, and it is rich in history and culture. This is the area where Tex-Mex cuisine emerged and is part of the Old Spanish Trail, which was the first paved coast-to-coast highway in the U.S. There's some really magnificent murals in this area which really offer a glimpse into the city's heritage and are so neat to see when you're driving around in this area. Lackland Air Force Base is here, as is Port San Antonio, which was formerly Kelly Air Force Base, but has been redeveloped to host a lot of different employers, including Boeing and other aerospace and cybersecurity industries. There's also SeaWorld in this area, which is obviously a big tourist attraction, but also really popular with a lot of locals and families. The water park there, Aquatica, is open seasonally, but SeaWorld itself is open nearly year-round. And you will definitely want to check out Delicious Tamales, the area's leading tamale manufacturer, to sample and purchase fresh tamales. They make 70 dozen tamales every 2 minutes. You've also got St. Mary's University and Our Lady of the Lake University in this area, as well as Government Canyon State Natural Area, which is a really unique state park with a lot of hiking and biking trails, as well as some fossilized dinosaur footprints that you can go and take a look at there. Housing in this area is going to vary in style and price, and also as to whether you're talking about inside of Loop 410, which is the inner loop, or outside of Loop 410. Inside of Loop 410, the homes are primarily modest 2 and 3 bedroom homes built in the early 1900s or post World War II. Some of the neighborhoods you're going to find in this area are Woodlawn Lake, which is near Woodlawn Lake, which is an area that's great for fishing, canoeing, or just walking and being outdoors. Prospect Hill, which was one of the first areas to be developed in this area, and Monticello Park, which was one of the most exclusive communities when it was developed back in the 1920s. Also in this area are Culebra Commons, Jefferson, Donaldson Terrace, and Los Angeles Heights neighborhoods. Homes in this area are going to vary widely in price, but there's a lot of affordability in this area, with some starting below $200,000 and going up to the mid 200s. In some of the more historic areas, the price is going to go up quickly from there, depending upon if the homes have been restored or renovated or not. Things are going to change as you go further west towards Loop 1604 and then outside of Loop 1604. This is a newer developed area, and it's been one of the fastest growing areas in all of San Antonio. You've got communities such as Alamo Ranch, Stillwater Ranch, Lucky Ranch, and West Creek. There's lots of new communities still actively building in this area as well. Prices in this area are going to start in the 200s and go up from there. Now we're going to move on to the south section of town, and this is going to be the area south of Highway 90. The most notable things in this area are obviously going to be the San Antonio missions, and if you didn't know, there's 4 other missions besides the Alamo. So you can go and see these historic structures that were from the 1700s and 1800s in this area, and there's also a trail system which connects them. If you're into bird watching, there's Mitchell Lake, which is fantastic for that. There's also Calaveras Lake and Braunfels Lake for some fishing. There's also the Mission del Lago Golf Course, and this area is home to the newest university in San Antonio, Texas A&M University at San Antonio, which has big plans for expansion. Also on the south edge of town is the Toyota plant, which manufactures the Tacoma and Tundra pickup trucks. And when this plant opened in 2006, it really was a big boom to the area, bringing a lot of jobs. There's also Brooks City Base, which has a lot of shops and things as it was redeveloped when Brooks Air Force Base closed. Some of the neighborhoods in this area are Harlandale, Palo Alto, and Palm Heights. And there's also a lot of new construction happening south of 410 as well. Historically, this has been the most affordable section of town for housing in all of San Antonio. Homes are typically smaller and built in the mid-1900s, but there have been some new developments popping up, but there's still a lot of affordability in this area, with some homes starting below $100,000 and a lot in the mid-200,000 range. In January 2022, the median price in this area was $220,000. Now I'm not going to go into quite as much detail, but I'm going to quickly give you an idea of where 5 or 6 of the most popular outlying towns and suburbs are. Since I just was on the south section of town, I'm going to stay in this area, and we're going to talk about Hondo and Castroville. These are 2 really cute small towns out Highway 90 toward the southwest, and Castroville has about 3,000 people and a median home price of about $420,000. Hondo has about 10,000 people and a median home price of about $240,000. Castroville is about 27 miles to downtown San Antonio, and Hondo is about 10 miles further. Directly south in Atascosa County, the communities of Poteet, Pleasanton, and Jourdanton form sort of a triangle, and they're about 8 miles from each other. The median price in this area is about $250,000, and it's going to be about 30 miles to downtown San Antonio, and between the 3 of them, there are about 20,000 people. On the southeast side of town, out Highway 181, you've got the town of Floresville, which is about 8,000 people, about a 35-mile drive to downtown San Antonio, and a median home price of about $300,000. These communities are going to be a little bit more rural. Floresville, Pleasanton, Poteet, Jordanton, and Hondo are going to be a little bit more of a rural feel. Seguin is a straight shot about 35 miles east on Interstate 10 from downtown San Antonio, has about 30,000 people, and a median home price of about $276,000. New Braunfels is north on I-35, kind of between San Antonio and Austin, and has been one of the fastest growing communities in all of the United States. In fact, in the past 10 years, it grew over 56%. New Braunfels has about 80,000 people. The median home price is about $340,000, and there's still lots of new construction going on in this area as well. On the far north side of town, straight up 281, you're going to have the communities of Bulverde, Spring Branch, and Canyon Lake. Canyon Lake is a recreational lake, so if you're into boating, water sports, fishing, anything like that, this is going to be a great area. There's a lot of new construction that's still going on in this area, and the median home price is about $400,000. Last but not least, on the northwest side of town, straight out I-10, is the community of Boerne. Boerne has about 20,000 people and is about 24 miles from the medical center and about 19 miles from the Valero Energy headquarters. But there's also some areas between Boerne and San Antonio, the Fair Oaks Ranch area, Leon Springs area, and the median home price in this area is about $477,000. So now that we have been all around the map, do you have a better idea of the layout of San Antonio? What area of town are you most interested in? Post in the comments below what area you would like to know more about. If you have any questions about any of the areas that we went over today, or about what it's like to live in San Antonio or buy a home here, please give me a call, a text, or an email. I'm happy to answer your questions. I love hearing from folks just like you and helping people make San Antonio their home. If you like this video, you will want to watch this one next. Thanks so much for watching.